Yo! Donbrothers is over! Celebrate, friends and companions! Laugh with me! Blow all your troubles away! It's a festival and a celebration! That this goddamn show is over! Cue the roll call! Right!
Connect. Loading.
Broadcast.
Perfect! Show running super savant.
Level up.
Bluecaster, super Ichi.
Loudon Online, Greycaster, Robolane.
Researcher of the Tokuverse, Ultracaster, Gar.
A spark of courage, the power of dreams. Orange Caster, Global Soft Perka.
Casting, criticism, comedy, chaos.
Radio Sentai Castranger.
On air! Welcome to Radio Sentai Castranger, episode 426. It's episode Drift Blim? I forget which one's which. Oh, there it is.
Hide your kids.
Yup.
Take them away.
He'll tuck them inside the peaches and drop them into alternate realities.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a great episode tonight, everybody.
The day is finally upon us, everyone. We have reached the end of Donbrothers.
It's also the end of, it's also the season finale of Castranger season 8.
Actually, wow. I took a look, and it's actually, I think this is the end of season 9. We're starting season 10 next year, but it's not our 10th anniversary until the year after. Because we started in 2014, and we've talked about 9 seasons, I believe. Let me just pull up my list.
I was actually re-listening to the Zyuohger opening and ending and started tearing up because I was so nostalgic about it.
Right before we started recording this, I actually went back and listened to our episode where we talked about Donbrothers episode 1.
Can you confirm that I said that Haruka's manga would be the Sentai?
I don't think you said that, but I will say that you and Emily accurately predicted that when the Noto were murdering people, they were not actually murdering them.
Huh, called it.
Yeah, so props to you guys for that. Okay, so yeah. So we've talked about Tokuger, Ninja, Zyuohger, Q Ranger, Lupin Pato, Ryu Soldier, Kira Major, Zenkaiger, and Donbrothers is the 9th show that we've talked about.
Shit.
So this is the end of season 9 of Castranger.
Wow.
Oh. I thought this was season 8.
Nope.
Oh, wait, so are we doing anniversary stuff next year, or are we doing 10th anniversary stuff this year then?
The question is, do we celebrate starting the 10th season, or do we wait to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the show?
I'd say celebrate the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, so we'll wait till next year.
Okay, perfect, because I got a bunch of stuff lined up that you'll all love.
Yeah, that'll be when I'll like refresh all the art assets too. We'll do a new logo, maybe a new roll call, and I'll like refresh all the art on the website.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're a bunch of Donbrothers that get together every week to talk about Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and usually a third thing, but since we are on the final episode of Donbrothers, feature topic will be us talking about the series overall as a whole.
Yeah. What do you think this is? When we talked about the Tokuger finale and also did Kamen Rider Amazons episodes 1 through 3?
Christ. And then we just decide, hey, we'll make a spin-off show about it.
We're not always good at what we do.
I've also realized that I've never, outside of Tokuger, because I wasn't on the show at that point, I have never missed a Sentai finale discussion.
That's good.
Well, being the Sentai guy that you are, I would hope you don't.
Yeah. Oh,
So
man.
there's a winter storm happening right now. So there's a possibility the power might go out at my house. I'm hoping not, but I do have a backup plan if
Or
that
my
happens.
house.
So,
God, I hope not.
So pray to everyone that we don't lose this recording because it'd be way too important.
If the episode dies, it's because I spoke such blasphemy that the gods struck me down.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody just stay safe, and because I know the storm is in some places in America too.
Yeah. And yeah, Emily's here after not being here last week, and she's on the shiny new headset, so audio
Yay.
might sound a little weird, but we'll ease into it.
Headset, thank you, Ichi.
Yeah.
She just sounds like she's on a phone.
Yeah.
I'm like on my phone where it sounds good.
All right. So, in lieu of a feature topic, this week we are talking about Kamen Rider Geats episode 24, the finale, episode 50 of Donbrothers, and yes, having our post-series review discussion for Donbrothers. But before we can get to any of that, it's time for some news.
News mode.
First off, we have the official announcement of, no doubt, the release that will make everyone who has already bought the Laser Raise Riser just angry. Y'all went in for the Kickstarter instead of waiting for the final product. So they've announced the Boost Mark II Raise Buckle, which we talked a little bit about last week from the magazine scans, but now we have the official release. So the Boost Mark II is a buckle that fits in the Desire Driver, but it also combines with the Laser Raise Riser, and that's how you get Boost Mark II and Laser Boost.
And thank fucking God they decided to release a set that's the Boost Mark II with the Raise Riser. So I managed to snag a pre-order for that set. So now I got the gun.
Yep.
I'm so happy.
So now everyone who bought the Laser Raise Riser by itself, who also wanted Boost Mark II, they'll just have to buy the version of Boost Mark II on its own.
Yep.
But at least everyone who jumped on it or didn't jump on it is being accommodated. Yeah, and it really is sad to say we are once again, we have a dick belt gun for this season.
I mean, I like my dick belt guns. Well, the shot riser is like my second favorite henshin device in all riders, so I love it.
All right, so the standalone release of the Boost Mark II Raise Buckle. So this is interesting. So like it starts out with like these black panels here on it, and then when you like crank the boost handle, they like pop open, and they look not only like boost tunnel or like boosters on a vehicle, but also, you know, kitsune tails.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that on the back of like the login cards, they have like each of the ID cores for like the Geats riders.
Yeah, the Laser Raise Riser cards, on the back of them, they have the icons of the rider they're supporting.
So, which means Buffa, Tycoon, and Nago will probably use Boost at some point.
It could be.
I mean, they wouldn't. Well, why else would they have them there? If they would have just done it for Geats if Geats was doing it.
My theory is that they get their powers as a result of choosing a rider to be the supporter for, and it's like they have their powers as a result of supporting the rider, so their emblem is shown there as a reflection of that.
Okay,
but it could also lead into everyone getting their own laser boost form.
I hope that's the case.
God, how fucking crazy is Buffa plus Baroba going to look?
Big, large,
yeah,
big, like large.
Decker posted the images of the 4 cards' backsides. But yeah, Buffa as a giant fucking Super Bowl.
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, if I put in my one news story like really fast so that it doesn't interrupt anything else, or
sure, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, just really fast, and like we have like no information on it. So, confirmed 20th anniversary Preacher All Stars film. All we know is it's gonna have every cure in it, and for some reason the subtitle is F.
All 77 Precures.
Emily, it's F for finale.
Well, no, people have been saying it's for forever. Possibly F for forte, like, because I use the word forte for things a lot. But it's kind of funny because it sounds like it's F. It sounds like it's like press F to take
Press F to precure.
Let's get some Fs in chat.
Press F for precure to precure.
Precure F in the chat. Yeah, like that's what it sounds like. So maybe we'll find out what F means. Maybe we won't.
The fact that there is a film starring 77 Precures means 0 of them will get sufficient airtime.
That is also what people have been joking about. They've been saying it's so basically the latest 2 teams and Pure Black and White, and then the rest will show up in the background.
Yeah. They're all just going to be standing there. It's just like the way Zio did it, where whenever they had all the riders on screen, they were just there to pose and do nothing.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Jerry, F for fucking hell, that's a lot of cures.
And I was kind of thinking that, too. It's just like F for, like, F. It's been a long time. It's been 20 years.
Yep. All right. So, with regard... Sorry?
Sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to get that out there.
That's okay.
No problem.
So, with regards to the Boost Mark II buckle specifically, as a standalone release, it is 3,300 yen, releasing March 18th. And then if you want the pack that comes with the Boost Mark II and the Laser Raise Riser with the Zine and Baroba cards, that is 7,700 yen, releasing the same day.
Yep.
But you still, if you want the Kekera and Kyuun cards, you still have to buy the belt, which is a separate thing.
Which I did, so.
Yeah. All right, so that's cool. Moving on. This was a release I never saw coming, but apparently they're putting out versions of the ID cores for Geats, Tycoon, Nago, and Buffa that have voice clips in them.
Yeah, they're like, you can see the electronics in them if you look at the picture.
Oh, wow.
It looks like they finally found a way to make fucking Tycoon's core premium Bandai. Those bastards.
Yep.
You fucks.
Pressing the center of the Rider Core ID will play lines from the corresponding character, and they will fit in the Desire driver.
I hope so.
So now the next question is, will Etsy follow up on this as well and make custom Rider ID cores that you can program sounds into? Could you fucking imagine?
Right. Also, apparently they come with their Desire cards.
Oh, really? Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Aces is just marked done.
Done.
We get it. You won. So
no, I won't be getting these just because I already have the regular ones. I don't care for the electronic ones.
Yeah. I literally have 3 out of 4 of these already, and I have no interest in getting Buffas.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting... Oh, yeah, so these are split into 2 different packs. One with Geats and Tycoon, 3,300 yen July release. And the other is Buffa and Nago. Same price, same day.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, neat. And, of course, yeah, Premium Bandai. Alright, next, on to some Donbrothers news. Unsurprisingly, they have announced the Donbrothers versus Zenkaiger movie.
Thank fucking God!
Yes, thank God.
What do you mean, thank God? We do this every year.
Not every year.
They announced the crossover after the show.
No, but I swear the past few years we didn't get a versus film. Like, I don't think we got a Q Ranger versus.
Wasn't it around the time of like Zoojer or Ninja? Sometime in there?
Like every season got a crossover outside of Zoo or Q Ranger versus Zoojer.
That's
there you go. About. That's what I'm thinking. No Q Ranger versus Zoojer.
It's because Toei realized they were losing money with these crossover movies, so they decided to go back to making them straight to DVD Blu-ray releases.
Oh no, Jackson! It did. It was awful.
We're not talking about that.
It was an awful movie.
Anyways,
butt writing.
No, okay, Jackson. That is not the reason why it happened. It was scheduling conflicts. They couldn't get it all together. That's why Misao showed up in the Lupin Q Ranger crossover because he represents Zyuohger. Therefore, there is your Q Ranger Zyuohger crossover.
But the
Fucking
reason
that shot.
it's not just that it exists. I at least am excited for this one specifically because there are so many unanswered questions in Donbrothers, which I'll get to.
So we're not gonna. I feel like we shouldn't talk about what happens in the synopsis since it sort of spoils it.
Yeah, all I'll say is it takes place after the events of both shows, and it's split into 3 acts apparently.
Yeah, so the Zenkaigers have their own storyline written by Junko. Donbrothers has its own storyline written by, of course, Inoue. And then the third act is both teams coming together.
Yeah. And they already showed off the poster, which shows the other team power-up that each leader gets.
Also, Hakaiser's coming back in this.
Hooray! Hakai!
Yeah, but I'm noticing Zenkaiser Black isn't in this poster. That worries me.
I feel like this movie is going to explain it.
I've seen people on Twitter say that there has been chatter that the movie is going to explain the mystery of Kaito from Donbrothers, and that's why I'm excited. That's why I'm looking forward to this.
Me too.
Outside of that, let's see. Limited theatrical release May 3rd. It will be on Blu-ray and DVD September 27th. We have to wait so long.
Oh please, we'll get a rip of the theatrical one. Then people will sub it, and then we have to pretend that we don't have a copy of it.
Special edition copies will include the DX Don Zenkai Blade and Victory Super Gear. Those are the power-ups.
Speaking of which, the Live and Evil and Demons V Cinema got leaked.
Oh, fun.
And I do mean someone ripped it from the theater.
Wow.
That sword's cool.
They couldn't resist their
It's a nice color.
All right, moving on. Our next story is that they have announced and put out images of the Memorial Edition Dawn Blaster.
That's awesome.
Well, it looks great.
Yeah.
I should hope so. It's probably going to be expensive. Let's see. It is 125% the size of the DX toy. So that's good. It comes with the 6 Avataro gears for the main 5 team, as well as Don Robotaro. Has a dialogue and BGM button. Let's see. It has 6 background musics in it. Premium Bandai web exclusive, 16,500 yen, releasing in November.
Yeah, so it's like going to be well over $200.
And if you pre-order between February 27th and March 13th, you get the King Oger Robotaro gear.
Ooh.
Ah, there's the image of it. Oh yeah, because they used that in the one episode. Neat.
Cool.
All right. Next on the news docket, we have some King Oger news, in that they have revealed the first set of auxiliary Zords. We have a snail, referred to as the Snail Gatling, and a pillbug, the Rolling Hammer.
I love both of them. Oh my goodness.
So
yeah, snail minigun's pretty fucking cool.
Snail turns into a Gatling gun, and the pillbug is like a fucking like ball and chain.
Oh, it's a pillbug.
Yeah.
So, like, combining a snail with a Gatling gun is like, those are like the two most opposite things.
Right?
And it's like how it works.
The slow creature fires fast.
Yep.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the main Zords are referred to as gods, but these ones are being called saints. So there's like categories of Zords.
I'm just imagining like the Last Supper, but it's just a bunch of robot bugs sitting at the table.
Funny enough, I see the pillbug and it just, those that like Transformers know who I'm talking about. The Beast Wars character, Retrax.
All right. So let's see. So you can buy these individually if you want Snail Gatling, 1650 yen, March 4th release, and Rolling Hammer is also the same on its own.
I wonder how many of these are going to release.
considering we've got 2 already before the show's even started, I'm guessing a fair amount. Like
how many did we get in Zoojer? How many like cube animals did we get?
Oh, there were a bunch.
There was the gun, the bat,
the giraffe, the bear,
the hammer, the scissors, the blimp.
Well, think of it this way: in Kira Major, we got the forklift,
the vacuum,
the trailer.
I don't know why I started. Okay, you guys were talking about Zoojer. I don't know why my brain suddenly drifted over to Lupin Pado when I started listing the auxiliary swords from the VS vehicles.
I was wondering, like, scissors? The fuck are you talking about? I don't remember no grasshopper in Zoojer.
I was thinking of Lupin Pado's auxiliary swords. But yeah, and not only did Zoojer have a lot of them, it had several, like a couple of them were like palette swaps of each other's.
11 DX cubes, 8 to 9 weapon cubes. Okay.
The Pillbug is a Bakugan.
Don't say Bakugan. It'll fucking summon Blaze. There's only one Bakugan, and it was in Tiga.
All right, so that's cool. Moving on to our next news story. We have more info on the upcoming Yodana 3.
Can I just before?
Oh, fucking God!
Can we please talk about how that is the thumbnail of the news post?
They know what they did.
Thumbnail for the video.
They know what they did. So yes, they posted a new 30-second teaser and new details for Yodana 3, Yodana's Valentine.
Yeah, can someone post a picture of her new outfit, please?
Which is apparently referred to as Yodana Burst because the fandom's gonna burst.
No.
Yeah, let's just say this was my response. Just holy shit, she looks amazing.
Yes.
Hey, look, we're getting not Crunchula.
Oh no! What the fuck?
So,
looks like he has like a chocolate egg on his head.
No, that's the guy behind him. It's football mask.
Oh.
Well. So in this special, Yodana is told by the sole administration judge that if she learns about love, they will allow her resurrection. So she's transferred to the real world on Valentine's Day and meets Miko, who can see her spirit, helps Yodana in her search for love. Yodana's heart skips a beat when she sees a man who immediately protects her from someone picking up on her, and this man is Tametomo.
Kira Mayello.
Are they finally gonna seal the deal?
Maybe.
I mean, apparently she goes both ways, so
that's cool.
I mean, how weird is it that Kira Major of all the Sentais has been getting this spin-off material?
Because Kira Major was amazing.
Yeah, it was a great Sentai.
Kira Major, more like Kira Amazing.
That's the joke. That's literally the Megazord name.
That's the mech name.
Oh,
whoa!
We made that joke all fucking year.
Yo, we're gonna get demonetized if you keep posting this shit, man. Hey,
keep doing the show.
Wow. All right. So Yodana 3 is premiering on TTFC on March 5th, even though it's set on Valentine's Day.
Isn't that White Day in Japan?
White Day is the 14th of March, so.
Wait, so how is
posting that on White Day would have been a good idea.
That's what I'm thinking. Why didn't they delay it just to have it be somewhat relevant?
Because they know that all the guys are going to be busy on White Day. That sounds so wrong.
They don't know their audience very well. I'm kidding.
It's like the other day when, you know, sorry to derail quickly, but just Lane, did you mention that you found yourself a new place?
Yep.
I loved it because I was like, "Oh, do you have pictures of the place?" He's like, "No, you have to ask my girlfriend that." Without context, I was like, "Tell your girl to send pics."
I took her to send pics. I'm like,
that was phrased so wrong.
That's inappropriate.
It took me a moment to realize, wait, what did I just send? Oh no.
I understood. Don't worry.
Oh, I know, but still.
If it makes you feel any better, again, this is, and I feel kind of embarrassed saying it, it was another accidental innuendo. When I was playing Salmon Run last week, I I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but basically there's an enemy called a stinger that can shoot you from very far. And generally, it's a good idea to go after that enemy so that it doesn't cause a lot of collateral damage. So I went after it, and I was being told, like, you have to go get the stinger. And then I just said, I'm gonna come.
Oh, oh no!
Like, I almost died because I was laughing so hard after I realized what I did.
Oh, you're adorable.
Yes, it doesn't. The stinger is a long thing that shoots liquid out of it.
Oh.
I just think of that Pro ZD video where he's just playing that mobile game. Just, I'm coming.
This is a game where you can spend entire rounds splashing white and yellow liquid all over the place.
Yeah, like it's just, oh my, because like I legitimately, like, I had to catch my breath. I was dying, just like, that's not what I meant.
I'll never forget Team Mayo versus Team Ketchup.
Yep. All right.
I'll never stayed up for 24 hours so that mayonnaise wouldn't lose.
You did. You're a trooper.
Speaking of troopers.
What?
I'll explain.
Okay.
Kamen Rider 4K Remaster Box.
Yeah, boxes.
No! Look at the prices of these sets!
Oh,
what do you expect? It's
$450!
Yeah, for
a set!
And there's 4 of them!
What the fuck?
Well, yeah, Lane.
That's this much money!
Video renters.
Oh my god!
But Lane, it's Kamen Rider.
I don't give a shit!
4K.
You could buy a Switch with that much money!
Or you could watch all 98 episodes of Kamen Rider that have been recently remastered in 4K.
Just pirate it when it comes out on Pirates.
Now you can amazingly, with well quality, scrutinize every detail of every terrible suit. The entire run.
Yeah, you can just see how worse it was fucking made.
Guys, can I just be happy for this?
Yes, you can, but not $450 happy.
Right?
Wait, hang on. I gotta hang on.
You're
Keep talking.
them up?
Story.
Okay, so I'm not sure if these comparison shots are from the Blu-ray to the 4K. But according to the information, the 4K remaster used the original 16mm negative prints.
Guard, do you know how much you'd have to pay to own this entire thing?
I'm gonna say over $1,000.
$1,800.
Jesus Christ!
Fuck. $1,800.
But that also includes all the great bonus features.
Oh boy!
So yeah, they have, it's 4 different boxes between episodes 1 to 98, releasing August 2nd, November 8th, February 14th of next year, and May 8th also of next year.
You know what? I'll just watch Shin Kamen Rider because I'll just get the entire original story in one movie, and it's modern day.
Lane, you know how we liked Shin Ultraman because you watched all of it?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna like. I don't think you're gonna like Shin Kamen Rider.
No, it's okay. It's an abridged version, so I'll get the gist of it.
Version.
Yeah. Or condensed.
Each box set features a jacket illustrated by Yoshihito Sugawara. If you make your pre-orders via the official Toei store, you receive limited edition goods. Box 1 will have a special storage box for all the volumes with new art illustrated by Yoshihito Sugawara. Box 2, 3, and 4 come with a special paperweight.
That sounds...
What the fuck?
Like, if you buy this entire thing, you better watch it one time and then never touch it again for the rest of your fucking life. This better be a fucking heirloom to your next generation of your family. Pass down.
I must pass down
forever.
The sacred Kamen Rider 4K Blu-rays.
If you accept this heirloom, you must watch this fucking series at least one time before carrying it over to the next person.
Okay. Also, by the way, this is the guy's art.
That's
Cool.
awesome. I love it.
The weight has been passed down through generations.
Yep.
Kamen Riders, the original Kamen Rider is awesome. Not $1,800 awesome.
All
It was also
right.
cool.
Reason for it, would you say?
Gar, I assume you'd like to talk about our next article.
Oh, Jeebus Murphy. Dojengers
Metropolis.
season
4.
4. Why?
Yeah, this show.
Dojengers season 4, also known as Dojengers Metropolis. Yes, Jake showed up in high school the 3rd season.
Cool.
What the fuck is that face?
That is me questioning how this has gotten 4 seasons.
That is emote worthy.
Yep. So yeah, the 4th season is about real heroes, the Dojengers, and the police, and the bad guys, the evil secret society, and the anti-social forces, the Oshikawagumi.
I swear, after watching the high school heroes, we need to just. I feel like Dojengers need to be the next thing we talk about.
Sure.
Like,
I will say, like, from this preview image, the suits look cool.
Oh yeah, because it's all like original, like they're all original characters. Right? They're the equivalent of mascots for companies.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like local heroes.
And that's what they are. They're local heroes, but I'm sorry, but just the fact that there's 4 seasons of this now, just make a fucking movie.
Yeah, so apparently this is premiering April 9th on TV.
On YouTube.
It's going to be airing on TV and on YouTube. And apparently they've upgraded from 25-minute time slot to 30-minute.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Just
All
no.
right.
No.
Oh,
I'm
now
like,
now Oikawa from Go-Onger is in it, apparently.
What? Weirdest part of all, I don't understand why I'm so upset over this.
I was going to say, is it good or is it not good? Because you seem to be upset.
Ichi, remember how we watched Voltron together?
Uh-huh.
And you know how we both liked it for its story?
Uh-huh.
You know how there's a vast majority of the people in the fan base that only watched it for the shipping?
Yeah.
Yeah, every person I've known that watched this show has been only ship, from what I've heard.
So what you're telling me is, I, who only exist as someone who doesn't give a fuck what fandom thinks about things, will probably enjoy it.
Yes.
Cool, noted.
Actually,
I suppose we haven't talked about this on the show yet.
it's one of those things where I wanted to find subs for it, finally did, and then we just never got around to it.
Well, you're the one
Because it
managing
was
the
just-
topic schedule. I'm sure you can fit it in.
Oh yeah, I'll easily fit it in once we're done talking about high school heroes.
Maybe we can do like a December themed month of just Dojengers or whatever.
Dogen,
Yeah, and there's already
Sember.
3 seasons.
Dogen
But by
Sember.
season, I mean like 12 episode seasons.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. We can knock those out.
yeah.
Dojanuary.
January.
Wait a minute, that's it. We moved from Donbrothers to Dojengers. Perfect.
Wow.
Well, we have King Oger.
Yep. All right. And our last news story is some bad news. Shoko Izuka, a voice actor, has passed away at the age of 89 years old. In anime, he's known as Mobile Suit Gundam's Ryu Jose, Dragon Ball's Android 8, and Nappa.
He was Aider? No! Oh.
Voltes
He was-
V's Rui
he was-
Jangle.
He was. Oh.
Lilo and Stitch's Jumba, and Dr. Neo Cortex.
Oh, he was Japanese voice actor for Dr. Jumbo.
Wow.
Oh, no, both actors for Jumbo are gone.
Oh, he's the we're jumping onto white base guy.
Oh, wow.
Aww.
And then in Tokusatsu, he played like 38 different monsters in Denji Man alone. He was Hokkaider.
He was Hokkaider. That's amazing.
He was the voice of Hokkaider.
Wow.
He was also the voice of Satan Egos, the main leader from Battle Fever J. Hellfire Saturn from like the main antagonist from Sun Vulcan.
He was Don Horror from Gavan.
Wow.
Wow. What a legacy.
This guy's a fucking legend.
And he was apparently in Ghost Ager as well. As like the main alien villain for like the first.
Oh, he was the moth guy.
Yes.
Oh.
And he was also one of the generals in Full Test 5. Another show that we should probably watch a bit more of.
Yeah.
Or not.
Oh, with the fucking the suicidal mother.
Yes.
Damn. You know what? Suicidal's wrong with the kamikazeing mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it really cool that his talent agency is called Sig.
The Kamikasan.
Yeah.
Go home.
Okay.
No, that was good. I'm giving him that.
I find it hilarious that his talent agency was called Sigma 7.
Yep. So he passed away at the age of 89 due to acute heart failure on February 15th.
No.
Hey man, 89 years old. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a full life. Hopefully he has no regrets.
Any regrets? Super Sentai.
We're jumping onto white base.
We never got to jump onto white base.
But in complete seriousness, that sounds like a very long, prolific, and awesome life.
Yes.
So rest in peace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, good sir.
All right.
Speaking of Lilo and Stitch, did you hear that Zach Galifianakis is going to be playing Pleakley in the live action remake?
Really?
I still think they should have gotten the guy who voices Pleakley because that man is just Pleakley. I've seen him in real life.
They're doing what they did with Lion King and just recasting everyone for no reason.
Oh, but they gotta get the original director back to be Stitch. Because who else would you get? Tom Holland? Wait, no, fuck.
Yeah, they'll just make Lilo a boy.
Oh,
I'm guessing will still be Stitch, but I don't know why they're doing this. But at the
Lyle
same,
and Stitch.
Lyle and Stitch.
I'm very curious. I admit, I'm not a fan of the live action remakes of anything, but
I like the Aladdin one. That one was fun.
I want to see what the characters look like in that style, but I also think the movie shouldn't exist.
The only reason I'm slightly interested in The Little Mermaid is because Melissa McCarthy is Ursula, and I kind of want to see that.
I can't remember the last time I've heard Emily just straight up say this shouldn't exist.
Last week.
She wasn't on the show last week.
What would I have said that about on the show last week?
Oh yeah, that guy now. It's freaking Juga versus Olteka.
There was a teaser about Juga and Olteka, but there was nothing significant to talk about, so I didn't bother including it. They had a little silhouette of Olteka's Kamen Rider form, but they haven't actually shown it yet. So I'm sure.
No, but we're missing the point here, people. We're getting more George.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
George is back.
I fucking laughed my ass off at that teaser because the two of them are arguing about who's more important, and right at the end you hear George go, "Now it's me."
Yeah, no. George is a fucking badass motherfucker.
Oh, and yeah, he's shirtless like a lot.
Oh yeah.
I'm expecting George to pull a Dan Carotto.
Also, tension naked.
Apparently in the trailer, someone noticed that they green screened in the fucking bathhouse because they don't have the set anymore.
That sounds right.
Oh, please tell me someone has a photo of that.
And then someone reminded me that in one of the Saber things, they didn't have the base anymore set.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna go the way. It's gonna go the way of the double set.
Woof.
All right. Well, that's news for the week.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can clearly tell they're not on it.
So clearly.
Oh no.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good fake.
It's as good as they can do.
Yep. I mean, it's better than the Saber one, where that definitely looks fake.
Yep.
The Revice one, it works because very minimal.
Yeah, it's a small space. It works better.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
All right, let's get Geats done.
Woo!
I should have seen this coming because it's the week Donbrothers aired, but it was a goddamn clip show.
But a really, really well done clip show.
Really? I was going to say it was a really crappy clip show.
I thought that was impressive.
No, a clip show is essential to filler.
I will say that we got some information / clarity on a couple of things that I'll get into as we go.
Interesting that Ace used to have a bowl cut.
One thing I noted in the opening, not only have they still not added the laser riders to it, but since the DGP is now on hold, they removed the "Who is a Backstabber" from that one desire card.
The idea that it's a clip show in universe of the DGP, and yet it also paints like the different characters and different people involved in it saying their opinions on why they've chosen who to support, and then it gets hijacked by the Dramato, and like it was one of the cooler clip shows I've seen in anything, really.
My biggest and most immediate problem at the start of the episode is the fact that what the fuck happened? Baroba nuked them all. How are they not all dead?
Exactly.
No one talked about it. How they got away. And they recapped that clip of Baroba doing her Hisatsu twice.
2 times.
What if Niram showed up and was just like, clock up?
Oh, okay. So also we need to mention this. Apparently, Kekera actually is a frog. He just made a human design.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about it later, but yeah, when he shows, I was so mad that he was a human, or at least had a human form. But then he shows up and he's like, "Do you like my human design?" And I'm like, "So what you're saying is you created this form, and that's not your actual form? Okay, I can get behind this. Does that mean that all of their human forms are fake?"
I like that their rider forms, with the exception of Jin, are all like almost animal robots. I think that's really.
I think Zine was too, but he just wanted to be more like Ace, so he made his rider design more like human.
Gene is such a simp for Ace that he wanted to be like him in as many ways as possible, so his rider is humanoid.
Yeah, because he definitely would have been a wolf.
Fox.
No, you can clearly it's a wolf because it's a wolf howl at the end. He's a wolf. The Wolf Rider.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
Is it a fox? That's not what a fox sounds like.
He's copying Geats.
Oh, I guess so. Everyone says he's a wolf.
He loves Geats. He wants to be as like Geats as possible.
But you clearly hear a wolf howl at the end.
I don't know. But with regards to Kekera and Kyuun's quote-unquote rider forms, I'm not a fan of like riders that are just straight up fucking non-human creatures. But like
the elephant T-Rex, that's right.
You know, the opposite. I actually really like riders that are just straight up non-human creatures.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Psycho, because he was a sword.
Oh God! Don't remind me of Psycho.
I love Psycho.
Yeah, but you know what Psycho is, though, Lane? He's a fucking real prop.
That's true.
I don't. No. You know what? I'm jumping on the bandwagon with this. I fucking hate the CGI riders.
That I'm a bit upset about the fact that
we look at it this way. We just finished a Sentai series that had 2 CGI non-human creatures as main characters, and now we get 2 more fucking non-human CGI monstrosities.
Like out of the 4 of them, really only one of them. Like where's the budget going? Because obviously the 3 of them are all reskins.
I mean, Baroba is still technically kind of humanoid. She's just also fucking giant.
I don't like how big she is.
I love how big she is.
Like, I feel like it's just a tad too big.
I'm okay with what it is. I just don't like that gets the title of Kamen Rider. You know what I mean? Like that. That seems like a like a monster or a mech or something, but like calling that a Kamen Rider is what makes me uncomfortable. And also, we have more Kamen Riders whose names are the same as their actual names. Oh boy, my favorite.
So they're just everything you don't like in a Kamen Rider.
The weird part is, you know how I hate Zine because of the fucking card through the head?
No.
The other three of them, I don't mind it as much, weirdly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not holding them to human standards.
Yeah.
Forgetting the fact that they're Kamen Riders, I actually really liked their designs.
Okay, so Decker brings up Kamen Rider Core, a movie exclusive, one-time only Kamen Rider.
Who was dead in like 5 minutes.
Core sucked. Core was awful.
I don't think that should be a Kamen Rider either.
I don't care if he was voiced by Kenpachi. That doesn't forgive.
I think that should have been a monster whose name was Rider Core.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I also took note of the fact that Baroba is now calling Buffa Michi, which means we have our second purple Kamen Rider named Michi who turned evil.
Yep.
Let's see where that goes.
Try to put an evil Christmas sweater on him. Fuck off.
God. I mean, he has a new outfit. He has a new outfit next episode.
Woo!
Sorry, Gar, go ahead.
And he's also tormented by a dead spirit.
Yes. Okay, my biggest issue in this episode. So, Ace and Jean are talking about like, oh, when did you start supporting me? And then we cut to apparently Ace living as a high schooler in still the modern age, and that's apparently when he was recruited to join the DGP? What the fuck happened to him playing the game for 2,000 years?
That he knows of.
Okay, I have two schools of thought on this.
They jump time travel, right?
I'll get into that. These are both possible. Ace was just fucking lying because that's just the thing he does.
Yeah.
And B, I think is the far more interesting approach. I think this flashback of him as a high schooler being quote-unquote recruited for the first time, look at the way he's smiling through that entire scene. I'm willing to bet that Ace gets up to some time travel shenanigans and goes back with all of his memories to get himself recruited into the DGP.
I imagine that.
Ace is look at the way he planned for recovering himself when he had his memories erased a couple of games ago. This man has like Batman level prep powers.
Yeah.
It would be fully within his wheelhouse to go back in time and get himself recruited into the DGP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to hope that is the case. Oh, fuck.
I mean, Ace is already up there, like for me, for almost like at like decade levels of badass. So
yeah.
I love Tsukasa. God damn.
What's weird about it as well, it's like, so why did you choose to be my sponsor? Well, I saw you before you got your powers, and I saw how heroic you were. They could have easily just cut to when he lost his memory in like, what was that, episode 20 or something?
Yeah.
When he had that whole background. Like, no, we decided to make a new... Keep in mind, however...
But he has a Vulcan.
No.
I'm sorry, I can't get over
it. What's his name? Future Blue Boy.
Gene. Or Zine. I don't like that. I don't like that name.
So Magazine over here is like, well, I thought your mom's name was this, and he's just like, no, that's just something that they made up for the show.
Yeah, that's just on my celebrity profile.
So what if this is just his fake origin then?
At this point, fucking nothing's off the table anymore.
Yeah.
They make up a lot of stuff. Maybe this one's no different.
Like they do play around with time and stuff, but it's just like...
They're gonna edit it and make you sound like I think Closeville sucks.
then Kekera goes up to Keiwa just being like, yeah, I chose you because I like that you wanted to achieve world peace, which is something a Kamen Rider would definitely do.
So, and then you just have Neon just you're hot.
Talking to a letter.
No,
talking to a fucking letter.
Here's the weird part about Neon. So like all that shit about Kekera admiring Keiwa makes sense because he did that quote unquote on screen while the first round of the DGP was happening. Kyuun says that he started supporting Neon because he hated how bad her home life was. So is that to say that Kyuun was watching her in her home before she was recruited into the DGP? How and why and ew?
Are you sure it's not just that she talked about it in her videos that she made? She's like a YouTuber.
I don't know that she like explicitly talked about her home life in detail in Neon TV videos. It was just like, hey, look, I'm here and I'm running away from home. And she never really went into why, maybe? Unless she did. Know. I don't know.
Maybe she did. That was what I thought, was that he was a fan of her from that first.
I mean, when in that scene where in the episode where he's introduced, he explicitly says to her that he's not a fan of Neon TV.
Yeah, but he was trying to like kind of deviate her from finding out who he really was.
I'm your son from the future.
Oh no, no.
Oh my fucking god. Could you imagine if Kyuun is Neon's son from the future and he's trying to help her find love so that he is born?
Oh my god. And it's him.
Oh my.
I'm my own father.
It's literally Back to the Future.
You had sex? Yeah, with your mother? Yeah. And yourself? Hey man, I'm not that bad looking.
Oh my god.
So I'm just thinking of Fry now. He did the nasty.
Do you know who your grandfather is? You.
Well, yeah, it's like that song. It's like that song from the movie The Stupids. I'm my own grandpa.
I'm
my own grandpa.
It's funny, I know, but it really is so. See, this is the problem. Anytime you introduce time travel into a story, all of this bullshit is now on the table.
It's weird that I'm the one that brings it up, though. Just
remember we thought in Zio, we thought like Geats was like fucking Sogo's son.
I don't think I ever subscribed to that theory.
No, you did. You thought that was stupid because you hated Zio.
It is stupid.
No, my favorite thing is when I caught up on Zio and I said Geats was my favorite character, or Gates was my favorite character, and Ichi just turned to me. He's like,
"Nani the fuck? Yeah, how?"
And I explained it all, and you're like, "Guard, that was so great. Too bad the show never fucking did any of that."
Gates.
So anyway, a bunch of clip show bullcrap happens, and then Baroba hijacks the stream and announces, now we're doing the Jamato Grand Prix.
Yes!
Turns out the Jamato have evolved further than they anticipated, and they've basically become sentient.
What's interesting about this part of the episode is this is the direct and explicit answer to a question I asked last week. Oh? I was asking why the Jamato were born, what the reason is for Archie doing what he's doing, and in this episode, Baroba says that the Jamato were actually... It's not just a case of the DGP fights the Jamato because they're a threat to humanity. The Jamato were, in fact, explicitly created for the purpose of being the enemies fought in the DGP. So Archie was, in fact, a management person in the Desire Grand Prix, handling the enemies that they would fight. And then, because the Jamato were evolving and mutating in interesting ways, Archimedo Archie became personally attached to them and started feeling bad that they were just grown to die. So this actually explains the Jamato's purpose perfectly, because up until now it's just been like, why are they around? But now we know that
they're fodder.
They were in fact created just to be enemies in this fucking reality show video game nonsense, and now
Dramato Island.
And now they're disgruntled and angry and taking over.
Yay!
So even though this is a clip show episode, we got an immediate answer to a question I asked last week. So good job, Kamen Rider Geats.
Yep, I thought this was a really good show, honestly.
Yeah, no, it shows this. I'm loving it.
And speaking of the 4 laser riders, I don't know if this was mentioned or explicitly stated anywhere, but one thing that's really interesting about their henshins is just before they fire, they're pointing the guns at the exact same angle of the cards in their helmets.
Yeah, I like that.
All 4 of them do that.
That's really cool.
I thought that's a really nice touch. And also, the songs, each of them has their own unique chime, and I love all 4 of those chimes, I will say.
Yes.
Too bad they were all playing all at once.
No, and they actually played them back to back, because like the like wow wow wow, that was the Kekera one, and then the fucking like string instruments, that's the Kyuun one.
No, the Kekera one should just be a Rainbow Connection. I love it. He's like, mind if I join? It's like, who are you? I'm Kekera. Who? He does the pose.
He does the pose.
Like by human form?
Which tells us that they've never seen each other in human form before.
Oh yeah! Next week we're getting fucking Buffa command form.
Why?
Because why not? That's amazing.
We had to fix the helmet somehow.
Yay, Buffa with the command form. He's gonna fucking wreck shit with that thing.
Wait a minute. Oh shit, that's a brand new helmet.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's a brand new helmet.
I mean, the visor on top of it.
Kekera arriving to the fight.
Pretty much. Yes. I just love the idea of the Jamato Grand Prix. So they're saying that all these random monsters, most of which are just brainless and acting off instinct, if they manage to kill Niram and steal his driver, they'll get their wish granted. What the hell is a random monster gonna wish for?
A sandwich. Why did I say that?
I want to be a real boy.
Why did I say sandwich? I have no idea.
How funny.
The turkey's a little dry!
Just how it's a Simpsons reference.
No, I remember that.
A Dawn sandwich? Sorry, go ahead.
Just how bizarre is it that it was only when they started using humans as fertilizer is when the Jamato started to go like crazy.
Missy, what?
I mean, we don't explicitly know that they haven't been doing that all along, and just the recent events were just like a random mutation.
Once again, showing that it's always the humans' fault for everything.
Yup.
Humans. We should go extinct, right?
Damn humans.
To quote Jacksepticeye from his recent batch of green screen meme templates, "This is why humanity should be killed."
Oh.
And by the way, speaking of Jacksepticeye's green screen memes, I should have mentioned this forever. This week I put out a video that I'm very proud of on the Castranger channel called Donebrothers. It is basically using Jacksepticeye's newest batch of green screen meme templates to review episode 1 of Donbrothers.
It's really funny.
We've lost it.
I had a good time making it. I might do more if enough people want more.
Oh,
You're
no.
stupid!
He's a weeb.
It's a good time. All right. Speaking of Donbrothers, shall we?
No.
And so the finale of the show begins the same way the first episode begins, with Haruka getting a manga award.
But she made Donbrothers into a manga.
Yep.
Donbrothers.
So now the question is, when is that getting released?
I really hope like the art that they show.
Yeah.
So does that mean she plagiarized her life?
No, she made a fictitious version of her life.
I mean, it's based on a true story.
Think of it this way: it's an abridged version of Donbrothers.
Yeah. And yeah, Inoue himself was in that scene giving her the award. You fucking self-congratulatory fuck.
That's amazing.
Don't hit the player, hit the game.
Wait, just get a picture of Inoue and do like the Obama medal meme. Someone's got to do that.
I remember that too.
Oh my god. Speaking of Obama, have you guys seen the fucking memes going around that like the AI voice impersonator of Obama, Biden, and Trump playing video games?
Yes, and it's too fucking terrifying, and I'm really scared how farther that's gonna go.
I saw one of them doing an F-14 raid, and I died.
I like that. Like the Donald Trump keeps calling Joe Biden Sleepy Joe.
Yep.
He's like, "Come on, Sleepy Joe. We have to correct those 90s." Shut up, Donald. You're not telling me what to do.
Oh my god. Okay,
guys, we gotta focus on the Don Commander.
Yeah, we have to focus on Donbrothers. So of course there's no opening for the episode because it's the finale, and as we see Taro's memories continue to go, he starts asking everyone if they enjoy or regret being in the Donbrothers.
Dude, that shit was fucking depressing.
Oh yeah.
I was crying. And then he got to like Sonoi and he forgot Sonoi, and I was just like, oh man. It's so sad.
I think Haruka's response to his question summarizes the entire show. It's been hell at times, but at least everyone's hilarious.
I mean, that is, but it's just seeing everyone give their 2 cents on it and having him go to each of them individually was really neat.
Man, like the way even Momo, he started to tear up as he's talking to Kijino, and he's like, not only am I okay with it, it's my point of pride, and I'm fighting to even just to save myself. And you see Momo just like, yeah, that's totally fine. And I'm like, ugh.
No. But I think what really hurt me was when he went to go visit Jin.
Oh, and they make like the last meal.
Yeah, and they make the rice balls, and he's just like, "Oh, it's good." And he's like, "Yeah, it's good." Who are you? And you see the look on Jin's face, and I'm like, no, there you go.
Nice, Kaguya.
And I'm just like, no. I was crying. I was in tears, man.
Oh,
Jesus
fuck.
Christ.
Thing involving someone losing the memories of the people they love is always hits me like harder than just about anything else. So
yeah,
this was a hard one to watch.
I would hate if I lost my memories and I just couldn't remember anyone or like the people I love. That would just be, I'd be like, I mean, I wouldn't know because my memories lost, but I think that's not a way to live.
I'm gonna get real fucking depressing right now, so content warning. You know what watching this episode felt like? This felt like watching an elderly family member going through like dementia. And this hit me real fucking hard because I've seen it happen. One of my grandfathers was like that before he passed, and this really fucking hurt.
It's awful.
Yeah, thankfully my dad still remembered all of us before he passed away, so lucky for that.
You're trying to talk to him and he doesn't remember who you are, and someone has to like whisper in his ear, and just like, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fucking just Sonoi like whispering to like, he's like, that's Haruka, she draws manga.
But just Sonoi being such a good friend in the end.
Yeah.
It's like, would you expected that would have been how this ended, and I'm really happy that that's how it ended, with the uniting of the two groups.
I want to be happy for it, but I feel like it's too rushed.
Having this plot be over the course of an episode and a half is a little rushed, I'll admit.
Especially with the new Cerebrians, they should have shown up a few episodes before, don't you think?
I think I know why though. It's the issue of why it was rushed. If they did okay, let's admit it. It's the same plot to Revice in a sense. Kinda in a sense, where the main character is starting to lose his memories.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel earned in a sense.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah, having one episode was a little, but man, they did well with just the one episode.
Like the one episode's fine.
I feel like they did as well as they could with it, given the constraints that they found themselves in, whether or not it was their fault. You know what I mean? Like now that we're here, like now that
have 50 Noto.
Oh god. He also wanted apparently Sonoi to stay dead after his first duel, but he enjoyed Tominaga's performance so much that he decided to keep him on, and thank God he did, because I don't think Donbrothers would have ended nearly as good as it did if Sonoi had stayed dead.
Or like there's the thing with Sonogo and Sonoroku, they get their powers absorbed and then they end up getting they kick the bucket.
I was about to say, like, speaking of the other fucking Noto, Sonoya and Sonoya show up and steal their powers and murder them. Holy fuck.
Yeah. So it's like I hate to be that person, but like
that was super messed up, honestly.
Not only that, just why even have the characters then if you're just going to obliterate them?
Never really even got to know them.
I'm kind of sad that this means Sonona and Sonoya don't have their own forms.
Like
presumably,
you could have just kept Sonoyo, the red one, right?
Sonoshi.
No? Sonoshi, right?
Their names are confusing. I know. I'll get into that later.
The red one, essentially, you could have just kept him, and then you have the two clansmen, like the two leaders, show up and be like, "Yeah, we're taking things over from now on." He's like, "But I'm just getting started." No, you're not, and kill him.
No, you're not.
And then you just have them be like 5 and 6.
Maybe not kill him, like just send him back or something.
No. I feel like you need, like, just to prove a point, they obliterate him.
I will say, I fully enjoyed when Sonoya murders Sonoshi, and then you see the fucking Kusaka smile on him.
Yeah, the Kaiser smile, and I was like, "Oh, there he is."
You know how there's now a photo of him getting slashed? Someone needs to re-edit that, and this is a very tough edit. Have it be the Kaiser finisher mark.
I can just edit in like a big yellow X.
Yeah, just a big yellow X. Because that would be funny as fuck.
Oh yeah, and Murasame showed up, and Mother's like, "Do whatever your heart tells you, son." And he's like, "Okay, ma'am."
Don Murasame just rebels, because why not?
Yeah.
Because the show's ending.
Wonder who Mother actually was then.
Nope.
What do you think of the finale?
No idea.
Yeah, because I thought that would be someone we'd meet.
So, as we cut to them in the cafe with Kaito, he explains that because the Noto are no longer a threat, and because Jiro has matured as Taro's successor, apparently some sort of system is in place that decided that now Taro's job is done, so he should deserve to live a normal, happy life. So to facilitate that, that's why his memories are going.
I feel like that's an allegory in a sense.
Yeah.
It's an allegory of the show coming to an end, and thus the actor can move on to do other things.
Pretty well. The movie will come up with some cockamamie reason for him to regain his memories, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
of course, because like the movie's probably going to be the true finale to this show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much like how Ultraman nowadays has a movie to wrap up its proper story.
Just like how Decade did, and Exade did, and the list goes on.
Yeah, except for Exade, it kept going and going.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, Sentai brings up a good point. So if Jiro's now the leader, that means they're the Dragonfires again. Woo!
Dragon.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what else was in this episode.
In a sense, sorry, just like when he was saying that stuff, it's like, oh, like he'll get to move on to be another thing, and they're all like, no. It makes me think of the first season finale of Akiba Ranger, where they find out they're in a show and it's ending, so they're trying to think of ways to keep.
They're trying to stop
going.
Hate Saburo.
And like as they're fighting like what's meant to be their final battle, you just see the giant credits. The end.
They start fighting the credits.
Like, no, take it down. And it's like, oh, there's Saburo right there, and he's behind the camera. No, and he covers up the lens. Like, it's the end.
Yep,
it's over.
It's so good.
Speaking of endings, it turns out that Natsumi just leaves Tsubasa.
Yeah, she leaves Tsubasa.
I fucking can't believe this shit. We spend the entire goddamn show with Tsubasa trying to free his girlfriend from the clutches of the Juto, and it ends with the absolute ball-busting anticlimax of, thanks for rescuing me, by the way, we're breaking up, bye!
Yeah.
The whole show!
Yep. No, even Tsubasa fucking makes it like...
Oh my god!
He's like, well, that was anticlimactic.
Another microcosm for the show itself.
Well, because, like, think about it. For that whole year that, like, she was in that forest, she was married to Kichino. And she got to experience what she really wanted to do.
I know.
So she kind of wanted that.
That part I'm not questioning. That part makes perfect sense in one of Donbrothers' rare moments of perfectly explaining what happened. But I just think that Tsubasa was done absolutely dirty.
He's not going to be alone.
No, he has Sononi now.
He runs off with Sononi, and they're both fugitives now. I don't know how I didn't see this coming.
I mean, to be fair, to be perfectly fair, he at least got a better ending than the other Black Ranger Inoue wrote.
Oh.
Who would that be? Is it someone I know?
Black Condor.
Black Condor.
Yeah.
He died at the end of the finale.
Yeah, they referenced it in Senkaiger. It was fucking hilarious.
About it when that happened.
Yep.
And the biggest thing, it wasn't until Gokaiger where it was confirmed. Yeah, he died.
All right, so before we get into how everyone else ends at the end of the series, we have to talk about the final confrontation. So, Sonoya and Sonona are attempting to murder the other Noto because they're traitors. And so the other Donbrothers start fighting because they don't have Momoi Taro with them. So Taro somehow ends up at the cafe, and Kaito hands him the Donbrothers manga manuscript. And and man, was that a tearful scene of him just like reading stuff about situations he's been through over the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's where he's transformed. The dialogue isn't filled in, so it's like it's saying like you have to fill this in now.
I actually thought that was really nice. A really like very poetic thing. You have to remember. You have to write it. You have to create it.
Yeah.
If Cell were here, he would probably quote Red Letter Media of, "Is that the script?"
But yeah, so Don Momotaro, even though he's in the process of losing his memories and retiring, he shows up for one last battle with the full bike entourage, the whole deal.
Yep.
And thus we get the final roll call.
Full roll call.
It was okay.
With the Noto there too.
And just that scene of them all standing crowded around Momotaro as he struggles to remember his phrase and then just busts it out. I gotta say, that hit pretty hard.
I'm just thinking, he's reading the manuscript. Man, this fucking sucks. Just chucks it and leaves.
Rewrites it.
No.
What the hell?
Just rips it in half. This fucking sucks. You got any One Piece?
That was the original, you asshole!
Kaito just pulls out the freaking. Oh, you know what it should have been? If like, just for a plot contrivance, Kaito shows up with the Avataro gear, shoves it in, makes a fake Don Momotaro to show up for the fight.
Oh, that would have been interesting. I think it's more significant that it's actually him showing up for the last battle.
I agree.
And it kind of makes sense that his memories do like temporarily return, because the idea behind his memories being reset is that the threat is over and that there's no more need to fight. So now that the Sonona and Sonoya show up, there is a need to fight. So the last vestiges of his memories come back to him just long enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Momotaro shows up and solos both of them in one hit without even needing to go into his goddamn super form by overcharging his fucking sword like don.
That was badass.
That was fucking awesome. And then he literally solos them in one shot. What a fucking boss.
No, yeah. Momotaro is just mwah. Goat.
He charged it so fast, he vanished.
And then goes out with the explosion.
Yep.
That's pretty poetic.
He's definitely a dramatic guy, so he has a dramatic entrance and a dramatic exit.
Yes, sir.
Didn't even say goodbye, he just...
That was kind of sad that he didn't, but also poetically just, I think.
Yeah.
And so we come to the epilogue. We find out where each of them land. As we talked about earlier, Tsubasa and Sononi become a pair of fugitives and live a life running away from the cops, I guess. And then you see Kijino as he's moving out of his house, and Natsumi's just hiding behind his door, and she comes and she's all, "Would you like to continue the dream?" And his reaction of just dropping his box and shattering everything in it pretty much mirrored my own reaction. I'm like, what?
Definitely not that, but it's very interesting.
And it's kind of left like, oh, does he say yes? Does he say no? But obviously he'll say yes.
Of course he'll say yes. Which makes me really curious to see how they're going to be in the movie, because this is going to be later, obviously.
What if they have a kid?
Oh, God.
Can you imagine Kijino as a dad?
No, the real question is, he's going to call her Miho in bed.
Oh, no. What if that's like her middle name? What if her middle name's Miho?
I don't know. I feel like that was just something the Crane Jutsu came up with.
Well, there was something I saw recently where like the two actors, they were talking to each other, and Kijo accidentally called her Miho by accident.
I saw that.
And they all just start laughing. It's like, well, Miho.
Miho-chan. I also saw his actor and guy who plays Kusaka, whose name I keep forgetting. They did a pose together where they both did their like evil smiles.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, so that happens to them. Sarahara, literally nothing changes. He's still a haiku walking hippie.
Yep.
Sarahara
There's the photo.
had no character development at all.
And Haruka makes the Donbrothers manga.
And she keeps all the money.
It's also really interesting, like, the award ceremony for the manga, Tsubasa and Sononi are somehow there without being arrested.
Oh, yeah.
A nice moment.
Maybe it's a private meeting.
Yeah. And the episode ends with Haruka at home working on the manga with Sonoza, and knock, knock, knock at the door. There's a delivery, and who is it but our boy Momotaro, living his best life.
Yep.
And then we get the handoff.
Yeah, the baton pass.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have been a bit more dramatic about it, but it did the job.
It doesn't beat the Tokuger.
No. If this wanted to be a true like Donbrothers thing, Momotaro should have seen Kuwaga Oger and toss him to the ground and just start laughing in his face.
That would have been funny.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, man.
Also, one of the rare times where both Reds are on screen at the same time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because usually, like, the other one does the handoff and then leaves, and then it's just the one.
Oh, yeah. They're both kings. They got to share the screen.
Yeah. But that is it. That is the end of
It's
Avataro Sentai.
over!
There you go, Ichi. You survived the year.
Somehow.
Well done.
I am so excited for King Oger. I'm going to watch that shit tomorrow night.
So, Donbrothers. I fucking loved it. It's just God tier.
Okay, so now we're gonna have our discussion where we talk about our thoughts on the show entirely. Obviously, I'm gonna go last because I have the most to say. I literally wrote a fucking 7-page essay.
you motherfucker.
So each one of us also wrote a haiku, as we talked about last week. And
yes.
I think the best way we're going to do that is we're going to go around, everyone's going to share all their thoughts on the show, and before you pass to the next person, the last thing you will do is share your haiku.
Okay.
All right, Lane, go first.
Okay. So yeah, Donbrothers. What an amazing show. I was excited for it before we even knew what the fuck it was going to be, and I was here for it all year round, and I was not disappointed. I honestly think like there wasn't really an episode that I didn't like, and just there was a lot more good than bad, and just as I've said before, the show is on a different plane of existence. Like I put this on its own fucking pedestal, like I do with Gaim. Like Gaim was so fucking good as a rider show. It stands alone from everyone else. Donbrothers also stands alone from every other Sentai. It's just it's so unique. We'll never have something like this ever again, which makes it even more unique. And it gave me the one thing that I loved more than anything, which was like it was just the most underutilized thing. He was barely in it. But Kaido's and Kaiser Black, like, holy shit! As like minimal as he was, I think he stood out the most for me. And like the fact that we don't know what his deal is kind of really cool. So, yeah,
you can give your specific thoughts on each character if you want.
Oh well, yeah, I guess so. So Taro. What a fucking goat. Like he stands like beside Marvelous Gokai Red as like one of the best Reds we've ever gotten. Is he my favorite? No, that still goes to Patron Ichigo, because he's just amazing. But Taro is God. Just Taro is a goat. I loved him from start to finish. Haruka, hilarious. Super fun, really good yellow, I think. She was so dumb, but like a real treat to watch. Her actor just fucking killed it. Like I just think she's just, as young as she is, she's just such a good actor. She's very emotive, very expressive, and like I loved her. Saruhara, very interesting blue. I honestly, Ichi, I loved how much you hated him. How much not like a Blue Ranger he is to you, and that's kind of what made him more interesting for me. So cool. I just like he didn't like have money. He didn't like money. He lived in a house somehow and afforded a house even though he doesn't have money. He ate imaginary food, and he wrote haikus constantly. And just I don't know. I liked him as a big monkey ranger. I don't know why. I like the fursuits. I think they're cool. I liked it with the Okami Blue. I like it with Sour Brother. I'm not ashamed to say that. Kijino. Wow. Again, first fucking acting job. Amazing. It was just, he was so good. Love how fucking kind of borderline insane he became near the end, but then, kind of came back to how we knew him. So... And like, I hope we see this man again in like other tokusatsu or any other show for that matter. Like this guy has a great career ahead of him, I think, and I think Sentai really helped probably jumpstart that career. And I just like going into Tsubasa as well. I love the CGI Rangers. I thought they're funny. I thought they were cool. I like, as bad as the CGI was, I was here for it all year round. Tsubasa, you know, I was hoping he was going to be my favorite in the end, but just he was kind of. I think in terms of character, he was my least favorite of the Donbrothers, just because, like, in the main five, just because he just felt very bland and just like he was kind of the same every single fucking episode. But you know, I rooted for him while he was trying to get Natsumi back, but it didn't happen. But yeah, I love you, new brother. I love the suit. I'm glad there's an actual statue of him. I think it's fucking amazing. Jiro, I didn't like him from day one, but then he matured, and I apologized for all the hate I gave him all year round, because he came around and actually became a pretty developed character, and I'm proud of him for that. I feel bad that his girlfriend and his friends were non-existent. Feel so bad for the guy.
I just love this shot of Inu Brothers standing in the fucking rain.
Oh no, it's fantastic. I love it. Also, just Don Dragoku and Torbolt. It's not my favorite Sixth Ranger design. I think it's not great, and I feel like if they're gonna make like a gold silver combo, they should have done something way better. Like they should have made the Torbolt more silver and then Dragoku more gold. And then, honestly, I feel like they missed an opportunity to give him a fusion form. Like, they should have just took both suits, like, took the helmet and the like, second part of the suit and
Agreed.
just construct it into one thing.
Don Doratora.
Yeah, it would have been definitely possible. The Noto. I mean, great villains. I think they were really great. They were weird and annoying at first, but then they came around and we ended up loving these guys and rooting for them, and then they joined our heroes. What villains do that? Villains don't do that.
except for Rio and Melee.
Yeah. Jin was boring. He really had no, relevance to the plot, except for he cared for Taro when he was a kid and he was in jail for some reason because he had to keep the balance or something. I don't know.
Well, he was in jail because he was being punished by the Noto for raising Don Momotaro as the last survivor of the Don clan.
Okay.
The way I had to read up on the wiki to refresh myself, but the way the lore worked is the Don clan were the ones ruling Ideon, which is like the Noto world that's above the humanity, and then the Noto council took over from the Don clan, murdered the Don clan. Taro was the only survivor, and as punishment for raising him, the Noto put Jin in that prison.
Okay. And like the other three, like Noto we got, they were fun. Yeah, they were fun, expressive, and stuff like that. That was great. And then Kaido, Senkaiser Black, fucking the best character in the show, in my opinion. Like he was so fucking cool. He owned every single scene he was in. The fact that he was coming off like the exciteness and hypeness of fucking Kaido from Zenkaiger, and he could just play this really calm ass role was impressive. And Zenkaiser Black, like, I already loved the Zenkaiser suit, and then they made it better. They pulled a build hazard to metal build for me with the Sentai suit. And, like, I have my Zenkaiser Black figure art already on the way, and I cannot wait to fucking get it, because I will treasure that thing for the rest of my life. And it's just such a good fucking design. And now I want a Memorial Gearlinger. It's like, So, and yeah, like, having a Monster of the Week for each Sentai, I think, was really fucking cool. That was clever.
You know when else it was cool? When Zenkaiger did it.
That's true. But yeah, so the suits were really cool. I think the only thing I didn't really enjoy about Donbrothers was just the mech fights. I just, like, they were boring and not too exciting and not very memorable. I don't really remember a single one that I enjoyed. And it just, like, a lot of it was a CGI mess. Oh yeah, Murasame. He was cool. I like the sword. I like the suit design. I just feel like he was literally just there to sell a premium Bandai toy. That was his whole purpose. Sell a premium Bandai toy.
I love that you had to be reminded that Murasame exists. That just proves my point
like
so
he's
much.
Cool, but he just wasn't in it a lot. I forgot. So, but yeah. So, Donbrothers, God tier, fantastic. Like, honestly, for me, for like a show, 10 out of 10 Sentai. This was phenomenal, and we will never get something like this ever again. But I'm very excited for King Oger. So, more, you know what? More so, I'm more excited to see Ichi watch King Oger. I'm more excited for that than anything else. So, and as for my haiku, here we go. Kaito is the best. Kaito is Zenkaiser Black. Buy his photo book. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't see that coming.
Oh man. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had to finish it with just the buy his photo book.
Can we get claps and snaps in chat, please?
Oh man, thank you, Donbrothers. This was a fun ass year, so I'm gonna miss you so much.
All right, Gar, Emily, who would like to go next?
Emily can go first.
Okay, yeah. The problem is I'm really not good at this, so it'll probably be pretty fast.
That's okay.
Just say whatever comes to mind.
Okay. So overall, I think that it was a really silly show, but I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean it in the best way. It got really sincere and heartfelt and sweet and even heartbreaking sometimes, despite the silliness. They were just great characters to get to know and spend time with. And I have to say, the one thing about it that always made me sad was knowing how much you didn't like it. Like, I felt like if I said positive things about it, that it would make Ichi sad.
The point of this show is for us to express our opinions. Even if they're different, that just means we have a more rounded overall point of view between us. That's kind of what I want.
I suppose so.
I don't want it to just be all of us yelling at the same show. It's more interesting when we have different opinions.
Yeah, I just, like, it wasn't as much that as it was just it made me sad that you weren't enjoying it. But
I mean, like, all things said and done, I can't say I didn't enjoy yelling at it, you know? Like, it's just like Zio. Like,
yeah, but like it's like sometimes it's hard to tell if you're like really genuinely mad or like funny mad.
It was kind of both, but I'll stop talking. You can get through everything you want to say. I have plenty to say.
You know, that's totally fair. Again, Lane did a much better job describing what the different characters. I like how it started from Haruka's point of view, and we sort of got into the show through her. That was really neat. I've never seen them do that before. I liked all the sort of mysterious elements, and the other thing that I thought was really cool is how it ended up being them befriending the Noto. Like, that basically became the plot of the whole show, and I was not expecting that, and I really liked it. I really liked that idea. I liked them sort of figuring things out together, bonding over either fighting against each other or finding out that they share the same interests or even falling in love. That was really cool. My unpopular opinion is I actually really like Jiro. I felt him immensely, not quite to Zero the World level, but I don't know, something about him just, and then when you found out that his life was an illusion, that made so much sense and just hit really hard. And I'm glad that he could get through all of that and forge a path for himself and get to where he wanted to be. It was always a little bit sad when the others acted like he wasn't part of the crew.
Any other characters you want to talk about?
I mean, again, Lane sort of encompassed it with all of them. Like, Taro was a really interesting.
It's fine if your opinions are the same. Just like the point of this is why we do these sessions once a year. We're all here to state our opinions. Some of them might be the same, but it's about putting it in your own words.
Okay. Yeah, Taro is a really, really interesting red. Like, one of the weirdest ones I've seen, if not the weirdest. All of those strange quirks he had, like not being able to lie without dying temporarily, or the fact that he would always rank everything in really honest fashion and like usually not well, like that was all interesting. Because like at the beginning you're sort of like, is this guy like a good guy or is he like a total jerk? Like it was kind of hard to tell. But ultimately he proved himself to be a friend, and he sort of made his first friends ever there with the Donbrothers. Really liked Sarahara as well. He was super weird and almost non-existent in the show, but every time he did something interesting, it was great. I liked how much he seemed to enjoy saving people on his own time. That only came out like once or twice. Did you know it was a yandere?
Yep.
That was not the direction I was expecting it to go in, but oh my god. And it was interesting that he became a monster of the week, not once, not twice, but 3 times. The whole thing tying together with Miho and Natsumi and Tim and Tsubasa was on it, and especially with them not really knowing the identities, was honestly a really interesting subplot. And I'm sure someone somewhere will say that it was a mess, but I feel like it could have been so much more of a mess than it was, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it ultimately tied together well and didn't seem like it made sense. It could have easily gone in directions that made no sense, but it made sense. I really liked the friendship between Sonoi and Taro, and how they sort of started out with that classic, like, rival, I will beat you down thing, and then it became really close and heartfelt and sweet, and I would even possibly say that they were that Sonoi was Taro's best friend by the end of it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, I know people are going to say it's romantic. It's not.
I think bromance is a healthy medium of a term we can use.
I suppose so. That's fair. I feel like Murasame was supposed to do more.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, like, Murasame looked like they were going to be another ranger, and then they just sort of existed and didn't do much. And I'm sort of sad about that. Kaito, I really want to know what the deal with him was, but I'm going to wait until the movie, because I do agree with you guys that it's probably going to be explained in the movie. Yeah. It was a really interesting story, the way, all these people who were like all from completely different walks of life just sort of get smushed together as a Sentai team, led by this eccentric, not quite human being, and all sort of going to a cafe run by a guy who may or may not be the protagonist of the previous Sentai. It was crazy. It was really interesting. And
that's the funny thing. Like, if you were to summarize the description of this show and read it to someone, they'd swear you were describing a fanfic.
Yeah, I know. And that's one of the reasons that I was sort of questionable. I think my least favorite thing about the entire show was that they used the same transformation devices and the same gimmick items. Mm-hmm. I understand sort of why that was the case, but I No, I really don't like it. I needed to have a separate identity apart from Zenkaiger. Because remember when we were talking about it originally, we were all like, oh, it's going to be Zenkaiger too. But like, it was totally different. It just inexplicably had the same gimmick item. It was... And Kaito was there for some reason.
And for some reason, Kaito was there.
Exactly. It was just... It was weird. But not weird in a bad way. That's how I feel about that. Funny thing is, I wasn't here last week, and I didn't hear about this having to write a haiku thing. But I wrote a haiku anyway because I thought I was going to be the only one who did, and it turned out that it was a requirement, so it was an accidental. And
happy coincidence.
It's nowhere near as good as Lane's, but my haiku is: Donbrothers is done. Could not have expected Ichi's change of heart.
Oh, that's sweet that you made it about me.
Well, I mean, that's what I kept thinking, was just like, wow, from like saying like, oh, I can't wait for this to be over, to feeling a lot of things about it. And I think that that's really powerful and really speaks about how honestly entertaining it is. Whether that's good entertaining or bad entertaining, it sure as heck was not boring.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Gar, would you like to take your turn?
I hope I'm okay.
Yeah.
This show fucking sucks.
You don't mean that.
I've been looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
One quick last thing. Also, I am now going to be constantly deciding which is the funnier episode: Dawn Sandwich, like the sandwich episode, or Drunk Mabushina from Kira Major.
Oh,
it's so hard to decide which is the funnier episode.
Eat my sandwich.
Eat my sandwich. Anyways, guys, go on.
Alrighty. When the show was first coming out, I had no idea what I was getting into. CGI Rangers, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. Their team pose, oh, it fucking sucks. The generals, oh, you know what, they actually look pretty decent. Kaito's coming back, oh sweet, we're gonna finally have some more continuity in Sentai. I can go with that. The first episode threw me through a fucking loop. I'm like, what? Yellow Rangers to protagonist? Oh, okay. Team's not assembled. Okay. A practical suit for Pink? Okay, that's cool. I can live with that. Oh, the monsters are based on previous Sentai teams. Okay, that's cool. We'll probably do something with that. This show was a crazy ride from beginning to end. My personal favorite thing about this show is its comedy at times. Like, if Zenkaiger was say, like, I complained that Zenkaiger was trying to be too funny. Like, it was like some jokes just didn't work. Donbrothers is more of my taste in comedy, where it is brutal about it.
Oh yeah.
Zenkaiger tried too hard. Donbrothers went too hard.
I feel like there was probably too much meddling behind the scenes, because some things just didn't go anywhere, or some things just didn't feel like they needed to be there. And I hate to say it, Murasame is one of those things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about while you guys were talking, I'm like, who was my least favorite character? It has to be Murasame. I feel like we could have just had the sword be this like ancient relic. And that would have been fine. We didn't need a completely different ranger. We didn't need all this weird mother talk, because in the end it didn't matter. It's the main plot. Jiro, I feel like, is an allegory of how, or not an allegory, but rather The show was about getting random people together to become a team. Jiro was the one that was actually trying to pursue to be a hero, and no one wanted him.
Freaking try hard.
Yeah, he tried too hard. Tsubasa and Kijino, I feel like, are the two sides of the same coin. Hold by Miho Natsumi.
Natsumiho?
Saru? You know, I think... Trying to think. Yeah, between Saru... I can say he's one of the weaker Blue Rangers, to me, personally. Mainly because it just took me a moment to remember his name.
It's always a bad sign.
I just didn't get his whole thing of like, oh, I'm poor, but I have this house. I don't eat food, but somehow I still live. Haruka had her moments, but I feel like she's a good Yellow Ranger, especially the first female Yellow Ranger we've had since Lupin Pat. That's a long 4-year stretch.
It's been 4 years.
Taro. I thought he was going to be like Lucky, where I'm just, oh man, he's going to be annoying as shit. But no, he ended up becoming a really good character because, again, the humor in the show just worked. It's like, why didn't you show up for our ultimate battle? Dude, I'm working. Give me that. I'll help you pack. I'll help you send these out. Then our ultimate battle.
Then I will deliver this package. Then we shall duel to the death. It almost feels like a Venture Brothers script.
Hammer. Or to save money on postage, we'll just fight now. Kaito. What happened?
Really
I feel like that was something left on the production floor of like, that was meant to be something, but we didn't do anything with it. Hopefully the crossover movie explains it. The villains, I feel like that was one of my major problems with the show when we were like halfway through it. When I'm like, this show feels like it hasn't gone anywhere. When are the villains going to be doing something? Never thought of it. They're not really villains, are they? They're just
antagonists.
Yeah, they're the antagonists. They think what they're doing is right. I feel like the Noto community could have been expanded upon more. And the fact that Inoue wanted 50 of these guys run around. It just... I don't know. I enjoyed what we got out of them when I finally came to terms of these are villains. I think that's every. Oh, Don Oi Taijin is a great design for a villain.
Oni Taijin, the Megazord?
Yeah. I liked how it's been a while since the Rangers actually became their Zord.
It's funny because I was listening to us talk about the first episode of Donbrothers, and I remember, I forget who, but someone was like, how the fuck is Kiji brother going to fit into his cockpit? And then it wasn't a problem. And yeah, the Zenkaigers, those Zords became, everyone except Zenkaiser became their Zords.
Yeah, but they're robots. That doesn't count.
They're robots.
They're already robots.
Yeah.
Jin, I want to say something about it, but unfortunately visiting hours are closed.
Nice one.
Thanks.
Yeah, the episode ran
the fucking music in this show. It fucking slapped. I think my favorite theme has to be Jiro's theme. Second tied with Momotaro and Sonoi's theme, like the duet that they do.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That's a moment that's ingrained in my head. I was thinking about that when I was walking around yesterday.
Yeah, I actually, in my whole fucking 7-page essay, I don't think I talked about the music at all, so I'll just pipe in real quick. The ending I liked from the get-go. The opening I slowly got used to, and now I'm like grudgingly like bobbing my head along to it every week.
I love the ending theme.
Yeah.
Especially after Zenkaiger didn't give us one.
Yeah.
Donbrothers felt like a good one. Even if it wasn't a full ending sequence, it was at least nice that they gave us an ending song.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna miss just hearing that. So let's get.
Also, I managed to obtain that recent Donbrothers character album that we talked about in the news recently. I would say like most of the tracks are really good. Surprising bangers. Saruhara's theme, Tsubasa's theme, and Sonoza's theme. Surprisingly good.
That's cool cover art. We've seen them in like Wataro's helmet. That's sick.
Yeah, that's
really nice
the singles cover.
That's really nice.
But yeah, I'll say this. You know, it's part of my haiku. Hopefully, this is a haiku.
Wait, was that part of it?
No.
Okay.
Donbrothers was fun, albeit a bit different. Farewell, Donbrothers.
Nice.
Very nice.
I was thinking, I had to ask a coworker. I'm like, is different 2 syllables or 1 syllable?
I think you could argue 2 or 3 because different or different.
Yeah.
You know what they should have done with Morisame, and this would have been a lot more interesting.
I count it as 2.
They should have made it where like whoever wielded the Ninjark sword got the powers of Don Morisame and got to like turn into it. So like maybe there was an arc where like Tsubasa got his hands on the sword and then he became Don Morisame for a bit.
I agree perfectly, and I'm going to mention this in my essay, but you know who should have been Murasame, since Murasame was all about mother? Hanamura, Haruka's not boyfriend, who also whined about his mother. That would have been fun. That would have been fun.
He barely counts as a guest character.
Like, you're so drawn on this fucking one character, and I'm like,
but he could have been a better character if they gave him Murasame powers.
No, he's like a one episode side character.
Look what we got.
No one gives a shit.
Fucking, someone pointed out today that Hikaru in Revice doesn't get to show up in any post-series content.
Good. That's because Tamaki is over demons now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Ichi.
Wait. Just one last thing. Where does Donbrothers end up on my tier list?
Oh.
Yeah, where?
Very top of A.
Oh.
I want to give it an S, but I feel like due to the finale being what it was, it's just like at the top of A.
Fair enough.
All right.
If the ending had like some more build up to it, it could have gotten an easy S.
Agreed.
Now, Ichi, it's your turn.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Ichi, what are your full thoughts on Avataro Sentai Donbrothers?
Hang on, let me go get the camera.
Let me preface this by saying that it's not all bad. I have a lot of good things to say too. But there is a lot of
Jackson's got the fucking right gift.
But there is a lot of bad.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Years ago, when we did a Q&A special, one of the questions we asked was, what do you like about tokusatsu? And my answer was that I enjoy the juxtaposition tokusatsu presents between its serious drama and its action and its comedy. And while Donbrothers may be far from my favorite tokusatsu series, I don't think there exists a series out there that better exemplifies this. Donbrothers is a show unlike anything that has ever existed before, and there will never again exist anything like it. Other shows may try, and maybe even succeed, in angering and confusing us in similar ways, while also compelling audiences with their batshit insanity, their somehow eventually lovable characters, and their mystifying world building. But never again will it catch us so wholly off guard like Donbrothers did. Never again will this particular strike of lightning ever be bottle caught. This was a story fraught with confusing ideas and unanswered questions, and actively spat in the faces of its audience every time we asked, every time it came close to answering the questions it itself posed to us. But over time, these characters, with their lives touched by this presence that elevated itself over everyone, with their fortunes and misfortunes, slowly found their way into our hearts. All right, on to my major criticisms. One of the things that I like most, and I think is fair to say that most tokusatsu fans like most, is transformations. It's kind of what we're here for. Super Sentai specifically has a very, very rich history of amazing stock transformation sequences. And while the very Japanese story of Momotaro and his companions isn't quite an aesthetic that I jive with, even I have to admit that the henshins in Donbrothers were amazing when they used them. The chime was bouncy and addictive. The sequence itself was visually amazing. It's just such a shame that they stopped doing them almost entirely by about midway through the show. And this is largely because of how Tsubasa was handled. I struggle to remember a single time where we had all 4 or 5 Rangers transform together using the stock henshins. It feels a lot like very squandered potential. And of course, what comes after transformation but a roll call? A tradition Donbrothers not only aggressively ignored, but metaphorically, again, spit on us for daring to hope. Because not only did they actually do the roll call maybe 5 times stops throughout the run, some of them they didn't either include everyone or they messed it up somehow, like the zombie version in the movie. I've heard some people say that not doing it for so long makes the one in the finale even more memorable, and to a point I agree, but also to those people, I say, who hurt you? Having an expectation go unfulfilled for a long time and then expressing overwhelming joy at finally getting a crumb of what you've been asking for, that's not memorable writing. That's the period of relief after torture by deprivation. That's being tied to a chair and tased for 40 minutes and then thanking your captor for the 5-minute break at the end. It's depraved.
Wow.
While I did like the visuals and the sounds of the transformations, I have to say that I did not like the designs. The Ranger suits, the Morphers, the weapons, the Zords, the Megazords, the monsters, didn't like any of them. Inu Brother being a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog OC and Kiji Brother being the goddamn Slender Man were warnings. Portents of the disaster the show would inflict upon us. And the worst part is, they didn't get better. The CGI did not improve. We didn't get used to them. We just had to live with it. They were weird and annoying and disruptive the entire run. The only suit designs that I liked in this show were Zenkaiser Black and the Noto. I did not buy a single piece of Donbrothers merch all year. I haven't owned a single piece of Sentai merch since Ryusou Gold's Changer. And speaking of previous Sentai merch, I feel it my duty to once again underline the absolute sheep out of having Donbrothers reuse Zenkaiser's gears as their gimmick. Oh, but this time the gears are italicized. They're different. I understand that Donbrothers is seeing positive sales numbers, but that's because they're being carried by the staggering detail put into the Oni Taijin Megazord.
You know how I could tell you wrote this? Oh, sorry, you know how I could tell you wrote this down?
Uh-huh.
That weird word that you just said.
Which one?
I don't know, the one that was a few back. Describing
Italicized?
Italicized?
Yeah,
the word itself was italicized.
They're italic versions of the, like...
They're the Zenkaiser gears, but italicized because they're curvy now.
I feel like the Sam's version of the gears now.
They feel like the cheap Chinese knockoff version. Remember how we talked about how the Dawn Blaster looked like a toy you'd see in a Chinese convenience store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ichi, if I could just interrupt you for 1 second.
Go ahead.
Are you reading?
So, sorry, I'm just eating a Timbit quickly. So, me and Gar we decided, we know that Donbrothers is very, very weird and important thing to you. So we decided we wanted to give you something that will remind you about Donbrothers forever. So we bought you your own Dawn Blaster.
My fucking God.
With the buckle, so you can have something Donbrothers. I was hoping it was going to come in today so you could open it in person. It didn't. It's still on its way, but you're getting it.
Oh
So
my
enjoy
God.
your cheap knockoff gun.
I can't fucking believe you did that.
Well, I was thinking about it like a week ago, just like, I'm like, you know what? Me and Ichi gave fucking Gar a Revice driver because he loves Revice so much. So why don't me and Gar give Ichi a Dawn Blaster because he just fucking doesn't know what to think of Donbrothers.
Oh
That's
boy.
$40 I've spent.
Now,
Right?
now whenever I want, I can hear Donbrothers go, Donbrothers go, Donbrothers go.
Yeah, no,
Donbrothers go.
you use it to however you want.
Like I
can't
said,
wait to
I
go
love the
over there and be
sounds.
like, where is it? Oh, it's right over there, and you're using it as like a doorstop.
Yeah, we had to get you the one with the buckle so you have all 5 gears so you can have full playability. So
I love you, boys. Thank you very much. I do appreciate
my
the
pleasure.
gift.
You're welcome.
Right.
Anyways, continue.
Okay.
Just on a sub note, Lane, stop buying Geats crap so that we can buy you something Geats related after the show's over.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So yeah,
Proceed.
with regards to Donbrothers and their apparently positive sales numbers, I still like entertaining my headcanon that they decided to cheap out this season hard enough to make King Odra amazing, because that looks amazing in the trailers. Next, I would like to review the many questions the series invoked that they did not get around to answering, something I hope will be remedied in the Zenkaiger Donbrothers movie. So much in this world does not make sense. There are goddamn warp doors and bounce pads around, and not once in these 50 episodes, movie, and several specials did anyone address them or ask why they're there, outside of Haruka's just initial shock and reaction to just everything. What the hell was up with that mobile phone slot game that gave everyone their powers? Remember the alter forms? Not only unexplained, but completely abandoned.
They're gonna be hogging store shelves for years.
A significant amount of the random humans in this world are apparently secretly the Anoni, in a ripoff of They Live so blatant it puts the Craterite invasion from Power Rangers in Space to shame, because this time it involves actual sunglasses.
Oh, right, those.
So my question is, what percentage of the randos in this world are the Anoni, and what percentage are actual humans that the Noto apparently use as a power source? And speaking of the Noto, what's going on with them now? The first 3 defected, 7 and 8 killed 4 through 6. So, like, is there a Sono Q and a Sono Ju? How far does this go? Why are they all named after numbers? What is the deal with their separate world? Did they create this virtual world full of human desire, or are they just profiting off of it? And if they are using humanity as a power source, why did all of the Noto treat humans like they were sinful, disgusting, filthy beings and acted like they were purging their sinful desires from existence when they were just straight up sending them to the recycle bin dimension?
Ichi,
Yeah,
I'm just expecting, like, with you saying all this, just like Inoue just sitting in his office, having this on, listening to your questions, just getting out of the match and just
Smoking a cigarette or a cigar.
yeah, just lighting a cigarette, just yeah.
Got him.
Got him.
And yet I made his friends spend money on the merchandise.
Yeah. And
I don't own a single piece of Donbrothers merch. You do now.
you ruined my streak.
I did.
And if speaking of the humans trapped in the recycle bin dimension, how long do they need to like sit in that dimension before they get quote unquote consumed for power? Yopi from episode 1 got out alive when Sonoe spun the Wheel of Fortune, and by that I mean the Ring of Forgiveness. So what? He was just sitting in that box undevoured for 40 episodes.
Maybe it's like a cryogenically like frozen sort of like portal thing.
It was the Noto's equivalent of a freezer.
Yeah. Throw him in the freezer. He'll stay good for a while.
Oh, fuck. Yopi went bad. And speaking of the Ring of Forgiveness, if that was supposedly a failsafe for the Noto's recycle bin dimension, why was it hidden inside the Forest of Slumber, which was a creation of the Dawn Clan, their mortal enemies? Next question, completely unexplained. The Megazord Zone! The Gridman-ass Megazord Zone! No one talked about it at all!
No.
We thought the virtual world was going to come into play, remember? Like, we were saying, oh, it's going to turn out this is all a game or something, but no. None of
Right?
Yeah, this was Zenkaiger's D&D campaign.
You're talking about what the next point I was literally about to go over. With all of the crazy shit going on in this world, it seemed like they were building towards an eventual reveal that this was not in fact normal human reality, but some sort of digital, virtual, parallel, pocket isekai of some sort. But no, not addressed. At least not yet. They did explain how Don Murasame was created to be a trump card against the Juto, but I don't believe they ever explained who or what Mother is or why she existed at all.
Nope.
The last we saw of Miho, she floated away and fell through the lunar reflection into the Forest of Slumber, but they never revealed if she was actually dead or if she will survive. But none of this unexplained nonsense is as frustrating as Kaito. Where do I start? Why is he in the show at all? Why is he so chilled out compared to his happy-go-lucky personality in Zenkaiger? Why did his powers change from normal Zenkaiser to Zenkaiser Black? What is his purpose in collecting the Avataro gears? Why was he able to summon a soulless version of Ziran Tyranno? How was he able to twist the world to his whims, especially with his unlimited menu and magic backroom? Why is he the administrator of the Donbrothers and the Kibi Point system? A lot, but not all of these questions could easily be answered by our theory that this is not Kaito, but the quote-unquote unnamed god that they shoehorned into the end of Zenkaiger. But no, they chose to dangle this loose plot thread over our heads like jangling keys over a baby, cementing Kaito as a constant and unending source of frustration through the entire show. The only thing I can say positive is at least he was consistent.
Wait, is that Tetoi? Is that what Tetoi looks like?
All right, and moving on to my thoughts on each of our main characters. Kito Haruka, our point of view character. While at the beginning it seemed like she was supposed to be the straight man of the group, the one things happened to, the one reacting to all the insanity around her, it's clear that as time went on she acclimatized to it and became just as crazy as the rest of them. Not to say that she slid into craziness without having some of her own. This is the same character who spent a good number of episodes not knowing who Taro was. And the first time the show dangled its own story progression over our heads, again, Keys and Baby, was this first mini arc of Haruka trying to find Momoi Taro. And even after that, she began developing all this weird shtick, like making faces, talking in weird accents, doing weird shit. And even so much as to interpret being called a plagiarist as a cute nickname. That's depraved. That is unhealthy. But I will say, the point of Haruka's character that I chose to interpret is that sometimes it's okay to be crazy, to just let yourself go as long as you're among the right friends. Having a circle of friends to decompress with, to uninhibit yourself with, can be therapeutic. Lets you really look inside yourself and see how you can put yourself back together more effectively and as a more developed person. So, it's not all, like I said, it's not all bad. I have some good things to say, and I have some morals that I've taken from each of these characters.
That's awesome. I love that.
Saruhara Shinichi, the latest in a series of disappointing Blue Rangers. Although I'll say the only thing disappointing about Kirame Blue was the helmet. Even in this crew of weirdos, this guy was weird. Doesn't believe in money, but somehow lived in a house. Ate imaginary food, but somehow hadn't starved to death. Although mostly was that because we saw him getting food from people. Shinichi feels like the ideal that every con artist strives to achieve, which is hilarious considering one episode he was defeating a con artist. Yet somehow, and I have no earthly idea when, the annoying parts of Shinichi's character were shaved down, or at the very least downplayed. which is to say that by the end of the show, I have no specific complaints about him as a character. He somehow managed to worm his way into being the voice of reason in a lot of different conversations, especially in the back half of the series. So I guess the lesson I learned from him is eventually people can get used to almost anything, which is honestly just the perfect lesson for a show like this. Kijino Tsuyoshi was by far the most interesting of the characters. This being his actor's first gig, the first proper male Pink Ranger, him being an average salaryman who somehow had a gorgeous, loving wife. It almost feels like they wanted Kijino to be some sort of self-insert for the fanbase, despite Haruka being the POV character. I enjoy Kijino as a character the same way I enjoyed Mitsuzane and Gaim, because he's compelling and how dynamic of a character he was, and the amazing emotional arc his character went through over the course of the series. He began the show as this adorable dork, and the fan base, we declared that he was the boy we must protect, a role that now belongs to Keiwa from Geats. Then we learned about the truth about Miho, and things gradually slid from "aw" to "oh no." And then when the conflict between Kijino and Tsubasa really heated up, Kijino transitions into this possessive and then eventually psychotic side of himself. That one screenshot of him smiling as Tsubasa gets arrested is the same moment that Michi had as he was lying on the floor laughing, realizing there was no hope standing up against the Invis. His lowest moment, his most significant moment. I only hesitate to compare Kijino to Kusaka because at least Kijino has a sympathetic side to him. Kusaka does not. And after Kijino hits his low points and we begin to hate him, things eventually began to clear up. Kijino began to move on, literally even, and while his misfortune was at least partially of his own making, it's very hard to not feel at least a little sorry for him by the end of the show. It doesn't quite blossom into the same redemption arc that Michi and Gaim underwent during the tail end and post-series of Gaim, but I feel like Kijino at the end of the series was definitely closer to the adorable dork he was at the start of the show, rather than the psycho who got his comrade arrested. So the lesson I take from Kijino is that even after one goes through their darkest moments, it's always possible to find yourself again.
Yeah.
Inuzuka Tsubasa, aka Inu the Edge Dog.
No, my God,
By far among the most frustrating characters in the show. It took infuriatingly long for anything he was doing to make any sort of sense. He spent almost the entire series not knowing who his fellow Rangers were, despite the show's repeated key jangling efforts to bring us right to the brink of everyone learning the truth about her, but then pulling back. Then we spend the middle third of the show waiting for this Natsumi Miho drama to progress, which once again almost happens way too many times. Then he spends the back third of the show being weirdly tsundere towards Sononi. Even when he finally joins the team proper, it's purposefully underplayed as yet another cruel joke to the expectant audience, and so close to the end of the series that we don't get nearly enough airtime with them existing as a united force. Once again, this seems tailor-designed to leave the audience wanting more. Now that they're together, we want to see them live and fight together like they were meant to do from the beginning. So I think it's safe to say that Tsubasa's chaotic ingredient in the smoking concoction that is Donbrothers is the true source of most of the problems with the show. Even the show itself tells Tsubasa to go fuck himself, not only in his constant misfortune throughout the show, but even the quote-unquote conclusion to his character arc. He spends the whole show trying to get Natsumi back, only for her to drop him, and he ends up a fugitive again, in an absolutely unashamed what was it all for? So out of spite for being the source of most of my frustration with the show, I will close out Tsubasa's section without assigning him a moral.
Okay.
Momoi Taro is unequivocally the Tendo Soji of Super Sentai. This man was literally an existence above humanity and had no qualms making it known. The easy response would be to loathe and contempt Taro for his early series standoffishness, as he would frequently disrespect and even beat up the other members of the team. But if you try and keep in mind that he's literally not human, being of the Dawn clan, and whatever reality exists outside of this one, you can start to understand why Taro's proclivities are the way they are. If anything, the fault lies with Jin for not teaching Taro to be more modest and respectful, like most not only humans, but Japanese people. Pulling powers and forms out of nowhere, however, cannot be as easily excused. Pulling up the Robotaros, Megazord combination after combination, the Omikoshi Phoenix for super form, literally none of it is explained at all. A perfect microcosm for the absolute batshit insanity, but also complete irreverence for proper plot or pacing, is the fact that we spent the whole middle arc of the show wondering and worrying about the Juto as they became more and more of a threat. And then Taro decides to get formally involved with the source of the Juto, hatches a cockamamie scheme that involves giving himself up to them, but proving for the umpteenth time that he truly is an existence above humanity by instead puppeteering his own Juto, and then promptly solve the entire threat by declaring to the Juto to leave humanity alone. He didn't even have to fight anyone. This man walked into the forest, told the Judo to fuck off forever, and they did it! So I guess if I have to assign a moral lesson to Taro, I guess it would be, if you got it, flaunt it. But also don't be an elitist ass fuck, even if they deserve it. Momotani Jiro began the show as a walking, talking parody of a protagonist. He checks all the boxes. Grew up in a small town, had a childhood girlfriend, got inspired to become a hero, left on a journey, met and challenged his rival, had an evil alter ego. The works. The absolute tropey works. And then the show put their finger on this annoying dork's head, gave him a flick, and watched as his entire life and existence spun across our screens like paint on a canvas. None of his friends were real. The man who raised him was grooming him to be captured by a Juto. His evil personality turned out to be the real one. Just fucking haymaker after haymaker to the gut. Jiro was annoying and largely inconsequential to the story, which, by the way, is the exact opposite of what you want any Sixth Ranger to be. But he did not deserve to be done this dirty. And the worst part is that it comes off like this was done with deliberate intent. Jiro feels custom crafted to be this soft, tragic figure to forcefully evoke pity from the audience, almost in the same way Zuodra did with Misao. But the difference is, Zuodra didn't have all this other shit wrong with it. So once again, out of spite, I declare Jiro a failure of a character, a ploy to tug at our heartstrings, a grift to scam us into feeling sorry for him, and I will not allow it. So that's the main Ranger team. Let's move on to the Noto. I don't know how the fuck the show managed to turn Sonoza around. He began as a genuinely repulsive character. Everything he did or said was creepy without exception, and yet somehow, through his interactions with Haruka, he became not only tolerable, but the two of them became one of the most delightful and heartwarming pairs of characters in the show. Sonoza wanted to learn about emotions and how to smile, and not only did so, but learned about how to make others smile through the medium of manga. It seems like the moral of it is that no matter how socially awkward someone is, they always have the chance to turn it around, and especially if they can meet the right person who complements their personality and their weirdness. So I'm amazed that Sonoza turned out as well as he did. Out of all the changes that Noto went through, Sononi was probably the one who changed in the least unexpected way. She wanted to know what love was, and through her interactions with Tsubasa, that's exactly what she did. A very simple lesson of chase your dreams and you will eventually succeed. And now we come to Sonoi. Precious, perfect Sonoi. My one perfect, shining blue light in this sea of chaos and anger. A soldier on a mission in glorious blue armor. A calm and dignified personage. A voice that speaks with the authority and conviction expected of a lead antagonist. It was always compelling watching him clash with Don Momotaro. While tropes expected of a Sentai crashed, burned, and were spit upon by everyone around him, Sonoi managed expectation to clash not only swords, but ideologies with the heroes time and time again. And it is this man who, through these clashes and his unknowing interactions with Taro, that he begins to see the error of his ways. and never is this more clear than after he falls in his duel with Taro, and comes back after inheriting his mojo in the famous Don Sandwich episode.
I forgot it was the same episode. Oh my god.
Right? Sonoe undergoes a brief but entertaining change in character as he achieves his power-up, and then comes to experience what not many Sentai antagonists do, a true change of heart. And so this rivalry turned bromance, turned rivalry again, and eventually to a team-up and basically a brothership between Sonoe and Taro is not only interesting, exciting, but also justified and wholly earned. I don't remember ever once questioning something Sonoe did or said that had to do with his character specifically, rather than the Noto in general or the world lore itself. And speaking of world lore, Sonoe gets big points for being the first one to actually start explaining the show's lore about the Don clan and the Juto. It's very interesting to note that, as I mentioned earlier, Sonoe was apparently intended to stay dead after that duel, but due to Tominaga's amazing portrayal, Inoue decided to keep him on. While I do not support the near deific worship of Inoue I've seen in the Castranger community as of late, I will bow my head to respect to Inoue for that decision specifically, because I could not imagine Donbrothers ending as well as it did if Sonoe had stayed dead. So due to not only Sonoe's amazing design, his amazing character, but also his amazing arc, I am proud to declare here in front of the entire internet that Sonoe is my favorite antagonist of all of Super Sentai.
Wow.
His moral is be blue, be dignified, be awesome. And so I make a liar out of myself by presenting to you that I beat you to the punch, Lane. You did not buy me my first piece of Donbrothers merch. I did.
Did you buy the bracelet?
I bought the bracelet.
You bought the fucking bracelet.
I bought the Noto bracelet.
Wow.
Sorry if that didn't come through.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I like the figure of him.
I might get the figure, but I just got the brace. Holy shit. I almost forgot Don Murasame, which is fitting since so did the show repeatedly. His only purpose was to exist as a trump card to be used against the Juto, which became a moot point as soon as Taro got involved and told him to fuck off. So now Murasame's existence is so pointless that in the final episode, he chooses to rebel and join the other team. What a fucking terrible follow-up to Stay Caesar. Like I said earlier, it should have been the Mama's Boy Hanamura instead. That at least would have been more entertaining. It's a real shame because his suit was the only quote-unquote Don Brother Ranger suit that I actually didn't hate.
No, everything about Don Murasame was fucking awesome. It's just... He was pointless.
Yeah. So while we still have plenty of unanswered questions, in all fairness, I must commend the show for succeeding in making its characters mostly both lovable and redeemed by the end of the show, and for clearing up at least a respectable amount of its plot threads by the end. However, while I did immensely enjoy the last few episodes, this does not save the show as a whole. You can't spend 40 episodes with a great big fucking mess, then spend the last 5-10 episodes cleaning it up and expect me to applaud you for all 50. Once again, that's deprivation and conditioning, and I'm not having it. We were talking about this in the Castranger chat, and Greencaster likened it to One Piece. Sure, the later episodes may be amazing, but I shouldn't have to sit through all the bad shit to get to the good ones. I already did that with Final Fantasy XIV. And so, with my pieces spoken, let me wrap up this festival of an essay by stating that Donbrothers is somehow, at the same time, an amazing, transcendently written show with a lovable cast and beyond god-tier thought put into its writing, and the worst, most god-fucking-awful Super Sentai show I've ever had the explicit displeasure of experiencing. This is the room of Super Sentai. I don't regret having watched it, but I wish to leave this earth having never watched it again. Thanks
Is Donbrothers good or just crazy?
Thanks to this show, I now have first-hand experience with Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh my god, you're right.
Oh no.
And so I will close out with my haiku that I have written.
Yay.
How dare you yearn for tropes and questions answered, yet denouement somehow.
That's really good.
Buy my
Thank
photo
you.
book.
It's snowing on Mount Fuji.
It's not in my...
Unfortunately, I think Blade won the haiku con.
Thank you.
Oh my god. So there is my literal 7-page essay on Donbrothers.
Bravo, sir. Well done.
Oh, I'm so happy this is done.
I'm gonna remember this show forever. I'm gonna miss Donbrothers so much.
Like I said, even though other shows will try, and there will never be anything quite like it.
No. And King Oger's just gonna be like exactly what probably Ichi will want.
Yep. I will go from screaming and yelling in confusion to screaming and yelling in excitement.
Hey, you know what I feel like I'm gonna do from like now on? I'll just be like, from my criticism of any Sentai from here on in will just be, that Sentai was good. It wasn't Donbrothers.
It's not Don.
It's not Donbrothers good.
Ah! Oh my god!
I really hope at the end of King Oger I'm not like, it's a good Sentai. I miss Donbrothers stuff.
Yeah, it's such a shame that our theory of Kaito being a penguin Juto didn't pan out.
I'm so upset.
Although maybe he still is. It could be. We don't know yet.
Oh, maybe. It could be more than one penguin.
Yeah.
There has to be several penguins.
So I know I talked a lot without giving a lot of chance for anyone to cut in. Did anyone have any counterpoints to anything I said?
No, I think that was a really well thought out description of how the show made you feel.
I mean, how dare you really criticize my boy Kaito, but I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
You definitely, instead of counter argument, I will add something to your comment.
Okay.
About how there will never be a Sentai like Donbrothers.
Uh-huh.
And if you think of it, since Kyuranger, Toei's been trying to do different things with Sentai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like additional Rangers, 2 different Ranger teams in the same show. Kyuranger, but it's hot trash.
This is the latest in a long line of experimental shows, and I think they may have pushed it a little too far this year.
No, if anything, I feel like this is how you do different.
Oh, for sure. If the goal is to get it so crazy that people will remember it, I mean, absolutely mission accomplished. The sales numbers are proof of that.
Yup. Oh,
And I think with it, like, sorry, Lane.
Oh, that's okay. I was just gonna say, like, I'm keeping my Dawn Blaster because it's just like, that's
And if you think of it this way, with each episode sort of being episodic in a sense, it allows a lot of people just to jump in at any point.
In that there was almost no plot progression until the back third of the show, that's true. Like literally between episodes 44 and 45, someone flicked a fucking switch in the writing.
That's when the editor went to, it'd be like, okay, write a fucking finale.
Now it makes you wonder, like, will Noe try to top himself, like, the next time they ask him to head write a Sentai? Will it just be like, all right, you guys like Donbrothers? Get ready for this.
I am so fucking afraid of whatever he writes next.
You know what I'm more afraid of? This is just an ordinary season of Super Sentai. We're 2 years away from the big 5-0.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh god.
How can you, like, Donbrothers feels like a great celebration of Sentai.
You might even say a festival?
Yes. So it's like whatever they have planned for the 50th, which apparently they do already have big plans for.
Oh, they have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Like apparently one of the rumors is that Kaito was going to show up in each Sentai up until the 50th to sort of like keep hyping up. That's why he was in Donbrothers, but then that 5-year plan got dropped immediately.
I got it. Shingo Ranger.
No.
We gotta complete the set.
We have to.
No, we don't.
So you're like, no, I'm against that.
No.
I'm genuinely afraid of what like you look at like Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider, the way they're all gritty and shit, like with the trench coat on Shin Kamen Rider. What the fuck would they do with the Go Ranger suits?
Well, we watched Shin Ultraman. It wasn't dark and gritty. It was more of a celebration.
It was just literally, what if the Ultraman from 1966 showed up in modern day?
Yeah.
That's it. What? Shin Gavan, maybe?
Ooh, they already did that. It's called Gavan Type G.
I mean, it might be the start of the revival of the Metal Hero franchise. That's something you've been wanting desperately, Gar.
I know, but it's just one of those things where I think they addressed that Shin Kamen Rider was the end of this like trilogy or quadrilogy.
That's fair. No, you're totally right.
3 words: B-Fighter Season 3.
We have that.
Beetleborg Season 3.
Oh.
All right. Well, anyways, that was Donbrothers, everyone. My God, what an experience! I had fun all year.
And now, hopefully, I can just exist until September without ever having to talk about Donbrothers again.
Until the crossover movie.
Yep.
Happy Halloween. Here's the crossover.
Here's the crossover. Yeah, well, that's the Halloween episode.
It's so scary that they came back from the dead.
Oh, no. But as I said, I'm excited to watch King Oger, but I'm more excited to watch Ichi watch King Oger.
I'm so excited. Although I will say,
so excited for you.
Videos of the Oger Caliber have been coming out. I'm really disappointed that apparently to Henshin you actually have to fucking bop it all 5. Although some people have been putting out videos that you can just cheat it by like doing the ranger you want to do, like their gimmick, and then the red horn and skipping the rest of them. So I wonder if that will eventually be a thing in the show.
I think you should just get it regardless, because like it's a cool sword.
I will say the chime on it is kind of cool. I'm tempted. I'll admit I'm not ready to pull the trigger quite yet because I'm literally about to spend probably $2,500 on a new computer.
Damn.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right.
But perhaps in the future.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that has been a 2.5-hour episode of Castranger.
Sounds about right for talking about a series overall.
So thank you to everyone. Oh God, the bubble face. If that's not an emote, if that's not an emote, make it one right now.
Oh my God. I'm gonna miss this man so goddamn much.
God, fuck, man. I'm so sad,
man. Just in the King Oger Donbrothers crossover, you just hear that laugh, and they're like, "The fuck is that?"
I'm kind of sad that we didn't get more of Momoy acting like this kind of maniac out of the suit. You know what I mean?
Holy shit!
Not nearly enough of that. There was some, but not enough.
I'm sad. I'm sad, guys. I'm really sad. I'm gonna miss Donbrothers.
I'm experiencing the same feeling I did when I finished my playthrough of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Just like, that was amazing, but what the fuck is there now?
What's beyond Donbrothers?
And then I remember, oh right, King Oger.
Don Sandwich.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone. Everyone's been contributing their haikus in the chat here, so hopefully people have been seeing those in our video. Anyone watching the YouTube video, please make sure to give us your haikus summarizing the show
in
the YouTube comments. And let us know what you thought, and let us know if you're excited for King Oger. I am very excited. I will be watching the Raw as soon as it is accessible. And obviously next week we will also be foregoing our feature topic in order to discuss our first impressions on King Oger and talk theories.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all once again. As usual, the primary source of our hijinks is castranger.podbean.com. Thank you for watching, liking, listening, watch all those things. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's been a fucking emotional episode.
Yep.
Castranger.podbean.com. All of our Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, Discord, merch store. It's all good. Thank you to everyone once again, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
See you in the next season.
And remember, stay brothers.
Bye.
Stay Sentai.